Hi, this presentation is in response to my research paper on cadaver organ selling. It is quite possible and incredible that one person can do so much for humanity, even though that individual is deceased. Human cadavers are being utilized in numerous and very significant ways beyond burials and cremations. However, controversy surrounds the issue of human organ and cadaver donation, especially as the need has spurred many countries to begin offering organs and cadaver body parts for sale, while hospitals and doctors are exercising expanded criteria and routine harvesting. This research paper explores the concept of organ and cadaver donation with a review of the need for organ and cadaver donation causing more pressure to offer them for sale, a descriptive narration of how the shortfall of organ and cadaver donation is being combated, and an analysis of the varying opinions on human organ and cadaver donation and sale, as well as my own personal reasons for choosing to be a donor but not being comfortable with being a seller, and discussing the causes of harvesting human organs, body parts, and entire cadaver is to discuss the great need for these items in general. Plainly stated, the demand is greater than the supply. For instance, millions of people suffer from kidney disease, but in 2007, only a little over 67,000 received transplants worldwide. The United Network for Organ Sharing in Richmond, Virginia estimates that 25 to 30% of all patients awaiting heart, lung, liver, or heart-lung transplants will die before a suitable donor organ is located. In the United States alone, more than 100,000 people are waiting for transplant surgeries. Doctors now in the United States are routinely removing pieces of tissue from deceased patients to use for transplants, even without the consent of the individuals or their families. It seems this practice is perfectly legal. In many states throughout the United States, medical examiners performing autopsies legally are able to routinely do harvest corneas with little to no family notification. In fact, more and more countries are moving towards presumed consent. In Spain, the practice is so common that facilities have numerous available transplants coordinators, trained organ procurement specialists, and round-the-clock laboratories facilities. The British Medical Association has put into motion a presumed consent system for the United Kingdom. India is beginning to develop a presumed consent system. There are also other very controversial and perhaps eccentric means for creating a usable organ supply. The notion of fetal tissue research is under great debate. Fetal tissue transplants offer hope for treating such diseases as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, and diabetes. In comparing cadaver organ donors, cadavers can include aborted fetuses. For women struggling with the decision to have an abortion or not, medical professionals state that a worthy contribution can be made from a perceived unworthy decision. John Gearhart, a stem cell professional located at Johns Hopkins University, warns that stem cell research is likely to polarize the discussion over embryo stem cell studies. Fetal tissue studies contains the guarantee of medical treatment transplants to defeat numerous diseases such as Parkinson's disease, and as well as diabetes. Fetal donations are likable for transplantation due to the fact that it matures swiftly and is less possible to be rejected by the immune structure of the system of the body, which is the key medical challenge in transplantation surgeries. The first information on fetal tissue transplantation was to alleviate diseases and then aimed at diabetes. 2 American physicians reported that they had tissue transplants from 6 stillborn babies to their diabetic mothers. However, doctors ascertained only temporary reduction in insulin necessary for just 1 case. Another controversial means for acquiring much needed human organs is the notion to produce them in laboratories. Robert P. Lanza, medical director at Advanced Cell Technology, which is a biotechnology company in Massachusetts, is quoted, There is no question we'll be able to grow fully immune-capable organs in the laboratory within a decade or so. This is not science fiction. This is something that we are going to see." Unquote. While this would fulfill a great demand for organs at present, donations are the only means by which a recipient in need can acquire. But for now, organ harvesting is done exclusively from cadavers and, in some cases, live donors. The fact that there are money-making markets for those organs is questionable and remains a hotly debated issue. The two opposing camps have very strong arguments. Proponents of the selling of human organs argue in favor of the profit selling of these organs, stating that this would cause organ donations to increase significantly. The profit concept becomes blurry when some proponents argue that earning a profit from selling a donated organ is different from receiving legal reimbursement compensation. Because living donors undergo major surgery that is associated with serious risk, they may experience lengthy recovery times. Reimbursement compensation might pay the living donor for documented expense related directly to the suggested donation, wherein to sell an organ for profit means that the profit is only seen after expense. It has also been suggested by some proponents that people should be allowed to arrange to sell their organs before they die, creating another incentive for more people to sell their organs, thus increasing the supply. The selling of their organs could possibly provide funds for them to live, eat, and acquire much needed medications. Also, the supply of organs would increase, proponents argue, because individuals might be inclined to sell more than just a kidney, for an example. The sale of human organs would also benefit the growth of a whole newly legalized industry. One of the obvious disadvantages to selling organs from living donors are the great cost and perhaps even greater medical risk the donors are taking. They may require longer recovery times depending upon the donation. The argument for providing a potential income source from those that are poverty-stricken is countered with stating that even by selling organs, the impoverished will still struggle with their economic situation, and having sold organs will not alleviate their situations in the long term. Having had the opportunity with this assignment to research and learn about human organ selling, I feel that individuals have the right to choose for themselves on what they prefer to do. The waters become murky, however, if the situation arises wherein a person must decide for another person or family member. For me, individually, I wholeheartedly support donation, especially from individuals who have deceased. I feel that I would respect someone who chooses for themselves to sell their organs. For me personally, I would be uncomfortable in selling any parts of myself. I feel what is most important concerning this entire issue is the right for a person to decide. In conclusion, the need for a human organ is high. The supply remains low. While science is offering some that are unusual and perhaps eccentric, the dilemma currently remains. And such a dilemma that has economic implications, the practice of organ selling is inevitable. It is happening. I feel the argument will continue to rage as long as the profit potential exists. With such a personal decision on what we should do with our bodies or with family members' bodies, individuals will decide for themselves on what is right, regardless of what current legislative mandate states. People who need organs are willing to pay a price, complimenting those who agreeably donate, willing to make a profit. I have chosen this topic due to the fact that I am going to major in forensic medicine and become a forensic anthropologist. I know that this might seem irrelevant to my paper, however, I would like to mention that cadavers can also be used to conduct forensic anthropological research. There is a center at the University of Tennessee where they study and analyze human decomposition. This center is called the Forensic Anthropological Research Facility, or simply the Body Farm. This concludes my presentation on the subject of cadaver organ donation and selling. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.